$200 million to win the Mega Millions, that's not stopping the thousands of people that have been coming to Bluebird Liquor Store in Hawthorne to buy their lucky lotto ticket.
They've had extremely good luck with Fantasy 5, with Super Lotto, with whatever's happening. They always have great luck, so we drove here from Signal Hill.
Federal prosecutors say new charges have been filed against a North Carolina investment advisor already accused of fraud and other offenses connected with a Ponzi scheme. The U.S. Attorney's Office said Thursday the new charges filed against 45-year-old Stephen Condon Peters of Raleigh include aggravated identity theft and concealing documents. Police in a North Carolina city are treating a pit bull puppy as a hero after he dug up a loaded .38 caliber revolver at an apartment complex in Greenville. You're listening to NCN News.
Will Democrats break Republican supermajorities in the North Carolina General Assembly? Will this year's election change the course of the state Supreme Court? What about all those constitutional amendments on the ballot? Carolina Journal will help you answer those questions. Available each month as a free newspaper, every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your #1 source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
Who is the North Carolina High School Athletic Association?
We are over 200,000 student athletes.
We are dedicated educators, coaches, and mentors.
We are your neighbors and friends that put on the striped shirts and officiate the games you love every week.
We are 417 member high schools from small towns and big cities, anywhere from Murphy to Manteo.
We are making a difference and building leaders of communities for the next generation.
Who are we?
We are high school.
We are the NCHSAA.
There's something fishy going on in the canned tuna industry. StarKist is the latest to say yes, it's guilty.
Its long-running commercials are familiar.
Sorry, Charlie. StarKist Tuna and natural...
StarKist will plead guilty to price-fixing charges, part of a conspiracy with two competitors to keep the price of canned tuna high. StarKist facing a fine of up to $100 million, part of a broad collusion investigation. Last year, Bumblebee pleaded guilty to the same charge and paid a $25 million fine. Chicken of the Sea not charged because it helped prosecutors expose the scheme and cooperated in the investigation. Gary Nunn, CBS News.
Police in North Carolina have accused a man of trying to kill a woman by repeatedly slamming a television on her head during a dispute. Greenville police say 48-year-old Donnell Rogers is charged with attempted murder, kidnapping, and assault with a deadly weapon inflicting serious injury. Federal immigration agents say a Mexican national who was in the U.S. illegally has been arrested on multiple state charges of rape and sexual assault. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement said in a news release on Thursday an enforcement and removal team located Alfredo Cabaron Lopez at a Forsyth County business. They're back at the Smithsonian in Washington.
Ruby Slippers, what have you done with them? Give them back to me or I'll... It's too late. There they are, and there they'll stay.
A size 5 pair of ruby slippers Judy Garland wore in the 1939 movie Wizard of Oz is on display again after a 2-year restoration project. Museum officials say conservators spent about 200 hours cleaning and stabilizing them sequin by sequin under a microscope. They now have their own special gallery with a perfect spot for selfies. Smithsonian Magazine says the conservation cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, most of which came from a Kickstarter fundraiser. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Get your message to the thousands. Call the WCAB Sales Department today at 287-3356.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. As President Trump ramps up threats to close the southern border over immigration concerns, the Secretary of State starts a Central American tour.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo touched down in Mexico City as President Trump continues to threaten to send troops to the southern border.
It's important that we secure our borders, and the President has not only the State Department but DHS and others working to achieve that goal.
Pompeo's Mexican and Central American tour to improve relations and work on the issues that drive so many migrants north comes as the President threatens to cut aid to Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador if they don't stop their citizens.
ABC's Kenneth Moten. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is also denying reports that Turkish authorities shared with him audio of the alleged killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi in the Saudi consulate in Istanbul.
I've heard no tape. I've seen no transcript.
Turkey's foreign minister also says his country has not shared any audio recording. President Trump is praising a Republican congressman for physically assaulting a reporter amid international outcry over Khashoggi's disappearance.
President Trump told a rally in Montana he supports Congressman Greg Gianforte, saying,
"We endorsed Greg very early, but I had heard that he body slammed a reporter."
Gianforte pled guilty to misdemeanor assault for that incident last year. President Trump Thursday said,
"Any guy that can do a body slam, he's my kind of..."
Gianforte's running against Democrat Kathleen Williams in the race for Montana's sole seat in the House. Brian Clark, ABC News.
Nearly 100 women who say they were sexually harassed or abused by former USC gynecologist George Tyndall are suing the school, alleging it ignored decades of complaints.
It sickens me to my core that this could have been prevented, not only for me, but for the other women here with me in this room, and for the others, hundreds of others outside these walls.
About 500 current and former students have now made accusations against Tyndall. You're listening to ABC News.
Hey, I'm Brant. So there's this guy named Jordan. He's a healthy guy. He's a dad of 6, and he works as a guide in Alaska. And he goes to the doctor, true story, he goes to the doctor and he's diagnosed with cancer, stage 4. And here's the thing, he had switched earlier from medical insurance to Medishare, where Christians share each other's medical bills. So the question for Jordan and his wife Jenny was, is this actually going to work?
Our medical bills exceeded $160,000. Medishare members shared all our bills.
And it was about more than just the money, too. This is a real community.
Medishare is a family, a group of people that stick with you through the hardest times of your life. I just don't know how I could have done it without Medishare.
There's a reason this is growing so fast. So if you want to find out more, here is a number for you. *324. That's *324. Message and data rates may apply. Call *324.
Defense Secretary James Mattis says an insider attack in Afghanistan won't weaken security there.
Thursday's attack by a man in an Afghan military uniform killed the well-known police chief of Kandahar province, Lieutenant General Abdul Razik, who Defense Secretary James Mattis called a patriot.
It's a tragic loss of a patriot for Afghanistan, but I don't see it having a long-term effect.
Mattis telling reporters that the U.S. remains committed to an Afghan-led peace process despite the incident, which occurred shortly after a conference attended by the top U.S. commander in Afghanistan. 2 Americans were wounded in the attack. The Taliban claimed responsibility. Elizabeth McLaughlin, ABC News, Singapore.
3 strikes and you're out may no longer be the case in California, which will reportedly reconsider the life sentences for thousands of nonviolent offenders. Here's ABC's Alex Stone.
Under the plan, up to 4,000 nonviolent criminals here in California who have 3 strikes against them would be allowed to try for parole. The Associated Press obtained court documents indicating that some criminals who right now are in prison for life could get the chance at freedom. A court ruled that third strikers must be included in a voter-approved amendment requiring parole considerations for any person convicted of a nonviolent felony offense. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
This is ABC News.
It's time to join the millions of people that meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Zoom gives you flawless video, crystal clear audio, and instant sharing across any mobile, tablet, or desktop device. But the best thing about Zoom? It just works. So ditch the distractions, join the movement, and meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Visit Zoom.us to set up your free account today. That's Zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Deer season has arrived, and Oakland Feed and Seed has what you need for the season. Buck jam and buck forage oats, 6-way deer forage mix, and 5-way deer forage mix. Check on the winter peas, molasses, 1 gallon and 2.5 gallon. Oakland Feed and Seed carries chicory, deer greens, dried molasses, beet juice, and more. If you're a deer hunter or want to be, go see Oakland Feed and Seed. Also, grass season is coming soon, and you can be ready with 17-17-17 fertilizer and 10-10-10 fertilizer, K31 fescue, and 5-star turf fescue. Make Oakland Feed and Seed your first stop because they have it all. Oakland Road, Spindale.
Good morning. It is a beautiful start to your Friday as high temperatures will gradually climb in the mid to upper 60s. Plenty of sunshine out there. Make sure you've got your sunglasses throughout the day. Changes will start tonight, though, as a cold front approaches North Carolina, and that is going to bring rain and cloud cover that moves in overnight. Low temperatures falling in the mid to upper 50s. Tomorrow's forecast, rain likely, but we'll gradually see rain taper off as well as cloud cover throughout the day. Highs in the upper 60s. I'm Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
Thanks very much, Kat. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Friday. It is finally Friday, friends. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Mostly sunny today with highs around 67 right here in beautiful downtown Rutherford. 7 miles per hour winds, and tonight dropping to 40. Sunday night is when we're going to really be talking about. Sunday night, it's clear with areas of frost. Lows around 36 on Sunday night. We'll wake up Monday morning with frost on the windshields. So please keep that in mind and bring some extra firewood in. Mama, and we'll bring the old blanket out. 6 minutes after 7. Welcome to the second hour of 3 of the morning wake-up call. Now we'll have these death announcements. Betty Jean Stewart Lowry, 63, of Rutherford, passed away Tuesday. Private services will be held at a later date, and Eggers Funeral Home is in charge of those arrangements for Betty Jean Stewart Lowry. Marion Kenzie Beavers, age 80, of Spindale, passed away Monday at Brookdale at Forest City. Memorial services will be held 3 p.m. today at St. Francis Episcopal Church. The family will receive friends from 2 until 3 prior to the service. Again, that's Marion Kenzie Beavers. Donna Mae Carver, 72, of Old Stonecutter Road, Rutherford, died Monday at Mission Hospital in Asheville. A memorial service will be held at 9 on Saturday in the First United Methodist Church of Rutherford. The family will receive friends following the service in the church. The Pageant King Mortuary and Crematory is serving the family of Donna Mae Carver. Mr. Max Donald Jones, age 88, of Ellenboro, passed away Tuesday, October 16th at Fairhaven Homes in Bostic. A visitation will be held 6 until 8 this evening at Cleveland Funeral Services Chapel. Celebration of Life will be held at 1 o'clock Saturday at Drury Dobbins Baptist Church in Ellenboro. Burial will follow in the church cemetery for Mr. Max Donald Jones. Thomas Powelko, 91, of Lake Lure, died Sunday at his home. The family will hold a memorial service 11 a.m. Saturday at Fairfield Mountains Chapel. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Thomas Powelko of Lake Lure. Cornelia Corliss Horngood, age 73, of Rutherford, began her eternal home life Thursday, October the 18th. The family will receive friends from 5 until 7 Saturday at McMahon's Funeral Home. The graveside service will be at Southern Baptist Church Cemetery at 2 o'clock on Sunday. Burial will be at Southern Baptist Church Cemetery. McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Services in charge of the arrangements for Cornelia Corliss Horngood. Rachel Lyles, age 85, of Fernwood Circle, Rutherford, died Tuesday at her home. A celebration of Rachel's life will be held 3 p.m. Sunday at Spindale United Methodist Church. The family will receive friends from 1:30 until 3 prior to the service, and burial will follow in the Rutherford City Cemetery. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Rachel Lyles. Francis McKinney Hawk, age 66, of Forest City, died Saturday at Fairhaven of Forest City. A memorial service will be held 5:30 November the 1st in the Pageant King Chapel. The family will receive friends following the service at the mortuary. Pageant King serving the family of Francis McKinney Hawk. Those are the death announcements we have in house this morning. Complete information on these and others can be heard today at 11:30, and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report here on The Most Information for the Foothills, 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB, Rutherford.
Amazon's a big leftist organization, but they come into some criticism now and then. So they wanted to buy some good vibes with all of their leftist hack buddies by raising their minimum wage to $15 an hour, but it didn't work. They were in hot water over a video they sent out. You see, they just bought Whole Foods. And Amazon sent Whole Foods an anti-union video. According to Gizmodo, this video provides talking points for Whole Foods managers. The managers are supposed to explain that Whole Foods' business model was built around innovation, speed, great customer service, things that just don't get associated with unions. Ignoring the business model, says Amazon, jeopardizes job security. Well, this sent a couple of U.S. senators into orbit on the warpath. Crazy Bernie and Elizabeth Pocahontas dashed off a letter to Jeff Bezos warning that the video could violate labor law. You see, you cannot tell workers that unions can cost jobs. In other words, management's not allowed to tell the people that work at Whole Foods the truth. Now, if there's one thing this dynamic duo of Crazy Bernie and Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren are good at, it's how to avoid telling the truth at all cost. And all Bezos wanted to do was buy some peace. And now he's got a couple of enemies from his side of the aisle. When are these people going to learn and join us? Say, folks, if you own land, you're going to want to listen to this. My good friends at Mahindra may have the best Mahindra tractor deal I've ever seen. For a limited time, get a Mahindra E-Max 20S HST for as low as $95 a month. This is a versatile 20-horsepower Mahindra E-Max for less than $100 a month. Now, this offer even includes Mahindra's 7-year limited powertrain warranty and access to Mahindra's nationwide dealer parts and service network. So get the E-Max for the minimum. This big-time offer will not last. Save big on the world's #1 selling tractor, Mahindra.
6.49% APR financing now through December 31st, 2018. See your dealer or MahindraUSA.com for more information. Take advantage of rock-bottom prices and test drive a Mahindra today at East Rutherford Equipment in Ellenboro, or visit EastRutherfordEquipmentLLC.com. That's EastRutherfordEquipmentLLC.com.
From the county seat in Rutherfordton to the foothills of the Carolinas, you're listening to the best of both worlds. 100.9 FM and 590 AM. WCAB.
Hey everyone, let's all stop what we're doing and take a moment. You see? Every moment can be kind of special. But it can be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments, it doesn't matter. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
When you want some sound facts about hearing, if you begin to recognize there's hearing loss or someone in your family very dear to you that they're losing their hearing, recommend Miracle Ear. Maybe that Genius 2.0 or other Miracle Ear instruments that are so professionally done. It's a worldwide company. They sell worldwide, but it's made in America, USA-made product. There's so many features you'll appreciate about Miracle Ear, and I know you'll appreciate the good service you get from Lisa Terry and her team at Miracle Ear in Forest City. Forest City office, 1512 West Main Street, Suite 102. The phone number is 828-368-4126. Go ahead and get something done now before the holidays get here, so you can enjoy the sounds of the holidays with good, clear hearing. Miracle Ear, A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau.
On October 24, 1861, the Transcontinental Telegraph was completed. Like the Transcontinental Railroad, it was built by two crews working toward the middle. One crew started in Missouri and the other in San Francisco. A crew would string as much as 25 miles of wire per day. The telegraph wire followed a route similar to that taken by the Pony Express. Workmen stringing line and Pony Express riders would wave to each other as they passed, not realizing that the success of one would mean the failure of the other. The cost to send a telegraph from coast to coast was $6 for 10 words. Brigham Young sent the first telegraph west from Salt Lake City, but the first one actually to go coast to coast was a special one. Now, it just so happened that during this time, the Civil War was in the process of dividing our country. A number of states had seceded from the Union, and Jefferson Davis had been inaugurated as Provisional Confederate President. Abraham Lincoln was busy trying to line up states that would remain in the Union, and the first transcontinental telegram was good news for Lincoln. It was sent to Lincoln 3,595 miles away from San Francisco, California, by California Supreme Court Chief Justice Stephen Johnson Field. The telegram from Justice Field to President Lincoln congratulated him on the completion of the telegraph line and pledged his state's continuing loyalty to the Union in those sad days of civil strife. Incidentally, the Chief Justice didn't have to pay for the telegraph. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Friday night football here in the foothills, and we'll be talking with Mr. Friday Night Jay Coombs a little after 8 o'clock this morning about tonight's lineup in our game of the week. Right now, though, let's go to the Sheriff's Department, talk with Deputy Keller about what's been happening in the past 24 hours over there. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Great. How you doing today?
Doing great. Tell us what's on the list.
All right. So in the last 24 hours, we had 148 calls for service, 16 arrested, and currently have 192 in the jail. For incident reports, we had the drop-in number 6 reported uttering forged instruments. And for arrest reports, we have Christopher Huckabee arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor, Marcus Tweedy, injury to personal property, assault on female, Bobby Gregory, felony probation violation, Carla Huffman, resistant public officer, Roger Webster, assault on female and injury to personal property, Crystal Ford, resist a public officer, failed to appear on a misdemeanor, Kelly Wilson, reckless driving, felony flee to elude arrest, and possession of a stolen vehicle, Harley Braun, possession of Schedule II controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia, Timothy Holler, assault and battery, Dante Forney, failure to comply, Bobby Thompson, obtaining property by false pretense and possession of stolen goods, Jeremy Harbury, obtaining property by false pretense and attempting obtaining property by false pretense. That's all we have for today.
Deputy Keller, thank you so very much for that report, and you be safe this weekend.
All right, you take care.
See you now. Bye-bye. 18 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. Communications Center report coming up next. At McCurry Deck Motors, you can browse a selection of vehicles that includes all of the top models in Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC lineups. The McCurry Deck Motors lineup of vehicles checks all the boxes, ensuring that they will have the perfect vehicle for any car shopper that visits their lot. Come visit and see what's in store for you and your family with the McCurry Deck quality reputation of fair deals and customer service. Try the Chevy. Find new roads with Chevy. At McCurry Deck Motors, we're the home of Chevy, Buick, and GMC. 1740 U.S. Highway 74A, Forest City. Here's Lindsay now with the 911 Communications Center report. Good this morning. Lindsay, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on your report today?
In the past 24 hours, Roseburg County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 404 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 36 EMS, 21 rescue, under law enforcement, 145 Sheriff's Office, 64 Forest City, 1 Lake Lure, 24 Rutherford, 55 Spindale. Under fire calls, Bills Creek had a residential fire alarm, and Sandy Mush had a motor vehicle accident. And that is all.
Thank you so much. You enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It is so easy to keep your car running clean when you visit RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash. The RS Speedy Lube can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids, vacuum out the car, pull next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers. Then pull next door to the RS Speedy Lube Automatic Car Wash. Make your car feel clean all under and all over. It's possible at RS Service Center and Speedy Lube Car Wash, Railroad Avenue, Rutherford.
You can depend on the professionals to get the job done right, or you can go anywhere where they sell plumbing, supplies, and all kinds of things to buy floor covering. But if you want it from somebody that knows the business, that'd be Southern Carpet. They're your guides to quality flooring and expert installation. Family business for over 20 years, and they've grown this business to a very successful business, and they'd love to have you. And it's part of their customer base. They'll work with you, your home, your extra home, your home up in the mountains, at the beach, wherever you are. You need some floor covering and carpet. Talk with Lynn, Gerald, and Clayton Tony and their team over there about getting something that fits your budget and fits your lifestyle. That's Southern Carpet. You'll find them in Forest City. Let me give you that phone number. Call them if you want to set a time to go by there to make sure they're there. That would be 828-245-0310. You can also find them on the World Wide Web at southerncarpet.net. Here's Ruby Taylor now with the SDO Fire District Report. Ruby, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on your report from the Danieltown area?
Well, the fire department didn't have any calls. And on my birthday counter, I've got David Toney, Jim Cole, and Brenda Moore having birthdays today. Hope they have a nice day. Then tomorrow, Mickey Magala, Cole Baldwin, and Lisa Green having birthdays tomorrow, and hope they have a nice day. Then Sunday, Jerry Lee, Jill Dobbins, Faith Ann Hopper, Nathan Collins, and Kirsten Pope. Hope they have a nice day. And then Mr. and Miss Jerry Henson has an anniversary, and hope they have a nice day. Signs are in the feet today, tomorrow, and Sunday all, Jim. And that's all I've got.
All right, Ruby, thanks so much. You enjoy your weekend.
You too, and bye-bye.
Bye. 22 minutes after 7 o'clock right now, and 43 degrees here on this Friday morning. Beautiful day of the neighborhood. Chamber of Commerce golf tournaments today. If you'd like to play in a golf tournament, I think they got a couple of teams opening over there. So if you'd like to go, just sign up with the Chamber or show up there at Meadowbrook at about noontime. Chamber of Commerce golf tournament. A beautiful day in the neighborhood for playing golf.
Did you know that Rutherford County's largest pediatrics practice has 5 providers to serve the children and youth of this area? And even better, Rutherford Children's Care is welcoming new patients. With 3 physicians and 2 mid-level providers, the group is available to examine, diagnose, and treat patients from birth to age 18. Rutherford Children's Care is conveniently located at 162 Commercial Drive in Forest City, just behind Big Dave's Restaurant. To schedule an appointment, call Rutherford Children's Care at 828-287-9325.
The Big Sally Graham Cache has been continued this week. Last week they got rained out one day there, big heavy rain, so they expanded this sale through today and tomorrow. Graham Cache, gigantic clearance sale right downtown, biggest sale ever, and you can save throughout the store. Here's some of the items you can save on. Just a limited number here that I can tell you about. Men's jeans, $20. Ladies' tops, $5. Children's jeans, $10. Ladies' sandals, $10. And a select group of men's suits, only $50. A regular, up to $275. Sport coats, $30. That and more at the weekend gigantic sale at Graham Cache in downtown Forest City. Beautiful day to go shopping, so head your way down to Graham Cache. And here's Homer now from Rumbling Ball with our Friday morning report. Homer, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. We're doing okay. How about you?
Doing great. You loving this cool weather?
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about it is when you have to get up out of bed. But yeah,
I got you.
I like this cool weather. This is my time of the year right here.
Yeah.
Of course, some people is already a little cold and got a little heat on, but it's getting that time of year for it. Let's see. We'll start with the temperature. Pretty chilly this morning. It's 50 degrees at midnight. 44 currently. Still kind of dark up here in the valley. Clear skies, no rain. Got a pretty busy weekend here, looks like. Several golfers is here. A couple of golf groups, as usual. They always have a lot of people on the weekends. We've got 2 weddings this weekend. One Saturday and one Sunday. So we've been having quite a few weddings here this month of October. We've got one local announcement. The White House Community Center is having a prime rib dinner with a live band. That's going to be held tomorrow, Saturday, October 20th, from 5 until 7. Tickets are $13.50. Kids 5 to 10, running pretty smooth up here at Rum and Wild area.
You're doing a good job keeping it straight, so keep up the good work, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
We thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Get all your deer season supplies at Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply. Cheryl deer corn, $7 for a 50-pound bag. Deer cob corn, $8 per bag. Deer apples, $9 a bag. Peanut deer mix, $12.99 for a 50-pound bag. And Farmer's Friend has a deer condo stand with legs for $17.21.98. For all your farming needs and supplies, let Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply be your go-to store. 188 Whiteside Road, Rutherford. 43 years experience behind the name, voted best of best 8 years. That's why folks depend on Hutchins Pest Control. You can call on Tim and his team for moisture control, waterproofing, mold remediation, air quality control, dehumidification, and of course, pest control, rats, fire ants, termites, wildlife removal, and so much more. Call them today for your free estimate. 287-5171. Get the job done by the professionals and relax. Hutchins Pest Control, honest, dependable, and on-time service.
Now let's see. We're going up now to Hudlow Fire District. Bob Hodge is on the radio right now. Bob, good morning.
Well, good morning.
How you feeling, Bob?
Oh, done pretty good on this Friday morning.
Already had your breakfast?
Oh, I've done had my coffee, my eggs, and all that stuff this morning.
Man, you're ready to go then.
Ready to go. It's a little chilly around the edges over here, though, this morning.
I hear you.
If you go out early, you might have to take a little jacket or something this morning there, but looks like it's going to be a nice day after the sun comes up. And Jim, up here with the fire department, has been pretty quiet. We've made a couple of medical calls. Hadn't had any fire call. And birthdays for Saturday, Brenda Weatherman and Jerry Logan. And also now Piedmont Pleasant Hill Clubhouse is having their barbecue chicken and vegetable supper with salad bar coming up Saturday. And that starts at 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Adults $10, children $5. 5 and under free. Proceeds to Rooster Clubhouse. And Jim, that's about it up here overnight in their neck of the woods. And I hope you have a good weekend.
Thanks, Bob. You and I, Virginia, have a great weekend as well. Enjoy it, and I'll see you next time.
All right.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Bob. All right, bye-bye. 7:29, and we are at 43 degrees right here at beautiful downtown Whiteside Road. 100.9 FM, 590 AM.
The Recliner Center is happy to introduce new styles of Spring Air mattresses. Some come with the cool gel that you're going to love. Remember the days when you could flip your mattress? Well, Spring Air is now offering the flippable mattress. Check out these for a really great night's sleep. The Recliner Center is needing to make room for some new styles of lift chairs, recliners, and sofas, and you're going to get some special deals on the floor models and extra inventory in the store. Now, you always know you get the best deals in town at the Recliner Center, and now's the best time to go shopping. Check on the inventory of new recliners, sofas, and lift chairs coming in. Now, some of the styles have a new water-repellent fabric. Water beads up instead of soaking into the fabric. Leave it to the Recliner Center to offer you the best choices and best prices. Ask to see the new wall hugger style of furniture. Hours are Wednesday through Friday 9 to 5 and Saturday 9 to 2. The Recliner Center on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Well, you can count on Spindale location of Save a Lot in the White Oaks Plaza of Spindale having some really great sales. Here's an example. Tomorrow, October the 20th, Saturday only, one day only meat sale. Family pack T-bone steaks, $3.99 a pound. Family pack buy pork sirloin chops, 89 cents a pound. Coke assorted, 6 packs, 4 for $9. While supplies last on all of these. Pumpkins are $2.99. These are limited quantities, so come by early tomorrow at Save-A-Lot in the White Oaks Plaza, Spindale, and save on this big one-day meat sale. Now let's head toward Cherry Mountain Fire District. Sue Price, good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. Hope you are.
I am indeed.
Good. Looks like we're going to have another pretty day for a while, and then maybe some rain later.
Yeah.
Are they still calling for rain?
They are calling for rain maybe tonight, late tonight and tomorrow. May rain off and on all day tomorrow. And sunny. It's going to be sunny on Sunday.
Sounds good. I started out at 42 degrees this morning, so it just keeps getting a little cooler. But I guess we'll see what Sunday night brings, whether we get frost or what. But anyway, we take what comes. I got no calls from the fire department, no birthdays or anniversaries on my church calendar. On my personal calendar, I got a birthday for Catherine Toney, and of course she's on Fairview's calendar, so hope Catherine's going to have a good day today. And Fairview has an anniversary for Joe and Judy Keamy, and nothing on First Bronze for today, so not too many celebrating, but we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a good day on their special day. In my announcements, the Bostic Missionary Methodist Church is having a singing Sunday, October 21st at 6 p.m. with the Royal Quartet, so good singing coming up out at the Bostic Church. So come on out and enjoy. They invite everyone to come. And so far, that's the only announcement that I have. It's just quiet and calm over this way. Looking for a good day and a good weekend, and I hope you and Faye will have a good weekend.
Thanks, Sue. I do appreciate that. Stay safe over there and enjoy the weekend.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Coming up this morning a little after 8 o'clock, we'll continue with our interviews, giving you a chance to meet the candidates. And Regina Mapp will be my guest this morning. She's a Democrat candidate for clerk of court. She'll be with me right here in the blue room taking questions. And we hope you'll join in for that. A little after 8 o'clock this morning, right after Mr. Friday Night gives us an update on tonight's games. The entire team at Crow's Funeral Home and Cremation Services can help you with options available. They will help you find a balance between emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved one. During this time, it's important to turn to someone you can trust and depend on. Crow's Mortuary and Crow's Mortuary and Crematory has a long history of trust and dependability. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory. That's 286-2304. Union Mills is our next stop. They're calling us in right now. Brenda Kelly standing up, waving at us to come on in. How you doing, Brenda?
I'm fine. How about yourself on this cool Friday morning?
Boy, it's feeling like fall, isn't it?
It is. It's cold to me.
What temperature do you have?
I got 38 degrees on the front porch.
Wow, yeah, you are cool.
Yeah.
That's about where we're supposed to be Sunday night around here.
Yeah.
36
so
actually with frost.
Yeah, we'll probably have a little bit of frost somewhere.
Yep, I suspect so.
On the creek banks or somewhere. But we hope everybody's having a good day today. Birthdays today, I've got Teresa Edmondson, Ariana Rhodes, and Jackie Bridges. I don't have anything on land here, so we hope these people have a great old big day on their special day. And then ways of announcements. My brother-in-law still hadn't found his wallet, or it hadn't been turned in, and that's a man's trifold brown wallet. You can keep the money that's in it, but they'd just like to have the wallet back with the driver's license and all that stuff. And the last time he remembers having it was at Dr. Burley's office. And you can call 287-5638 or 755-1399 if you find this, or if you find it and want to turn it into one of the police departments, that'll be fine. He'd just like to get his wallet back, and that's Michael Kelly. And then Gilkey School Community Center on Saturday the 20th from 9 a.m. to 11. They're going to have coats, gloves, blankets, scarves, and some diapers for the children to give away if you're in need of any of that. And then Piedmont Pleasant Hill Community Club's going to have a barbecue chicken supper. I can't even talk this morning. With all the trimmings and big salad bar. This will be October the 20th. $10 for adults. 12 and under is $5, and 6 and under eat for free. Then we got a prime rib dinner with live band Saturday, October the 20th, 5 to 7 p.m., White House Community Center on Painters Gap Road in Union Mills. Adults, $13.50. Kids, 5 to 10, $7.50. Under 5's free, and that's prime rib, mashed potatoes, corn, green beans, rolls, ice cream, assorted dessert, tea, and coffee. And all profits go to the upkeep of our building and outdoor recreation area that's open to the public. And I guess that's all the announcements I got. It's just cold.
Yeah. What's your favorite meat to eat?
Probably country ham.
Yes. I think that's my brother. He loves that country ham too.
Yeah, and I like country ham. I'm more of I eat more pork and chicken than I do anything. So, but it's all good. They say it's not good for you, though. I don't know.
Well, in moderation, everything's okay in moderation, I guess. I guess chicken would be my favorite above all else.
What part of the chicken, white or dark?
I like the dark meat.
I do, too. I love the dark meat. I love a good chicken leg and a chicken thigh.
Yep. I love to pick that old chicken leg up and gnaw on it.
Fried up real good and crispy, can't beat it. Pan of gravy, biscuits, and mashed potatoes and green beans.
Now you're talking. Yeah, I like the way you talk.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Maybe I can get a hold of some chicken this weekend. Have some. I don't know.
Well, you being the son of a Baptist preacher, I bet you've ate a lot of chicken in your life.
I have eaten a lot of chicken in my life. Matter of fact, that was my piece of chicken. When Mama would cook it on Sunday, she'd say, "Chicken leg's yours." I guess she thought I could handle that better than picking the breast and other parts up. But
yeah, to me the breast is dry.
It can be. It sure can.
Yeah.
I like the thigh pretty good.
Yeah. I like the leg and the thigh. I like chicken livers.
Yeah,
good.
I do too if they're fried right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, you're making me hungry too, brother. Let's change the subject. Listen, you have a great weekend.
You have a good weekend also, and we'll catch you later.
Bye-bye. Thinking of eating, Gregory is going to be catering a big event on Saturday evening. It's the 2018 Lincoln Reagan Dinner, and he's inviting you. It's going to be at the place there on Main Street in Rutherford, new place, 13, I believe it is. But anyway, 113 Theater, 113 Theater, 113 Court Street, Rutherford. That's where it's going to be. And the featured speaker of the evening is Mark Keith Robinson. He's the man that made national news when he stood for the council over in, was it Greensboro or Raleigh, Durham, somewhere. He said, "I've been sick and needed a doctor. I've encountered trouble and needed a police officer. I've lived through times of war when our nation needed a military, but I have never, not once, needed a pro athlete or entertainer for anything." And excuse me. He talks about Second Amendment rights, and he's going to be speaking at this dinner on Saturday. And Gregory is inviting everybody to come. He's open to anybody. Starts at receptions at 5 o'clock. Dinner's at 6. And you can purchase tickets at the Republican headquarters, Main Street, Rutherfordton, or online at http://rcncgop.org. And that's at 113 Theater, 113 Court Street, Rutherfordton, Saturday evening. Dinner's at 6. Gregor's going to be feeding us. So there you go. 7:40. You don't want to need a plumber. You want someone with a reputation of getting right out to you and getting the job done for you the right way. That'll be Olmsted Plumbing. Since 1973, the Olmsted family has been serving homeowners and builders with the best of service. From unclogging a drain to replacing fixtures and appliances to remodeling jobs, they're top quality work.
fair prices, and punctual service has made them the area's leading plumbing firm. Eric and Chad are continuing that family tradition, and they'd like to serve you. Call 245-7302. Experience plus equipment equals excellence. Olmsted Plumbing at 245-7302.
We're over to Ellenboro now, and Luther Gilligan is on the phone to give us an update from that community over there in the fire district. Good morning, Luther.
Good morning to you two. I'm having a good time there today.
I'm glad you're up and at 'em.
It's good. It's going to be a nice day. We're going to have a lot of fun things to do. But it's fairly quiet. We see the park department out on call now, so that's the only thing they had. Well, they had one call yesterday, and that one this morning. So everything's quiet. The rest of the people this morning we're trying to get this last day of the weekend, get ready for a good weekend. And that's what's happening, but we're going to have something going on there in Monday from 3 to 7:30 Monday afternoon over at Corinth Baptist Church. We're going to be having a blood drive over there. So everyone's invited to come on over here. And there's all kinds of blood needed. Who knows, it might be me that needs it, so come on out and get some. And then it's the next Friday, not tonight, but next Friday on the 26th of October from 4:30 until we're going to be having Fish Fry over at Pilgrim Baptist Church in Pilgrim Road. And it's just before the ball game, so you can go there and eat and then go to the ball game. And then Monday, yeah. And then next Saturday, 26th, they'll be having their annual barbecue over at Hope 29 Baptist Church. That's just across my area. A lot of people here take part in that. That'll start at 12 o'clock and run until. That'll be next Saturday over at Hope Baptist Church on the Hope Church Road. And it's the 1 week after birthday day. Debbie Clufford is having one, and Carol Layla is having one. And also Neil Danner is having a birthday today. So we hope these people have a great day and enjoy their day. And Jim, nothing else going on down here. You have a great day up there. We'll talk to you Monday.
It's always a pleasure, Luther, and I'll see you next time.
All right, have a good weekend.
Bye-bye. You know, as you call your birthdays into us now. Today's the 19th. If you're celebrating, let's celebrate with you, and we'll give away some donuts here in a few moments from Granny B's Bakery. So call yours in, 287-3356, and we'll have a drawing here in a few minutes. You know, there's any number of things I can talk about with Henson Building Material because they're so versatile over there on Duke Street. They're much more than a lumber yard. There's so much more that going on than you might know. And there's any number of things we can say, but including they got the Georgia work boots. They got a big selection of those. They got the Traeger grill that's really outstanding if you're doing a lot of grilling. You need to check in on that. They got all kinds of things from screws to hammers to nails to light fixtures. But this time of year, we really need to think about saving energy costs at your house with those doors and windows. If you'll go by there and look at those doors and windows, David can give you a quote on what you need to help your home become more efficient in these cold days that are coming. The wind's going to be blowing. It's going to be cold this winter. They got over 50 years David's got over 50 years of combined experience in the construction field, and his expertise runs in doors and windows. So there's a lot we could talk about Henson's because they have so much going on. But with this cold weather coming, you might want to check those windows and doors and get a good price for your budget from Henson Building Material. More than just a lumber yard. They're located on Duke Street, Forest City.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide daycare services for an aging parent or loved one. Rutherford Life Care can be just what you're looking for. Rutherford Life Care offers adults a safe and fun place during the day for medical monitoring, nutritional meals, and daily activities. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. Call them today and let them answer questions you may have. That's 288-1697, 288-1697. Rutherford Life offers a staff of professionals who show the love and compassion that you entrust your loved ones to. That's Rutherford Life Care Services, located on Thunder Road, Spindale. Again, that phone number is 288-1697. That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today while they're fresh. They're good. They're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about.
Birthday. Well, happy anniversary to Robert and Dorothy Hudgens of Rutherford, and this is their 55th wedding anniversary. And Luann Sheehan of Rutherford is having a birthday. Want to wish her a happy birthday. Brooklyn Davis is 9, a student at Spindale Elementary. Roseanne Sheehan over in Rutherfordton having a birthday today. Brenda Morrow is 71 in Danieltown. Chad Fish up in Lake Lure is having a birthday. Tim Hawkins down in Caroline also celebrating a birthday today. Let's see who else. Looking at the calendar, we have Teresa Edmondson, Ariana Rhodes, and Jackie Bridges. So happy birthday to everybody. Happy anniversary to those that will be celebrating a wedding anniversary. And I'll have a drawing for the donuts in just a moment.
Emerson wrote of friendship, the only way to have a friend is to be one. Friendship is love in action. It is reaching out to folks with a cheery smile, friendly words, or a gentle touch. It's seeing the best in people, not the worst. It's putting words like, I love you, or may I help you into action. It's a warm handshake, a comforting hug, or just being there when you need it. Friendship means caring and sharing of both the joys and the sorrows. It means being tolerant of another's faults and imperfections. Aristotle said that a true friend is one soul in two bodies. With a friend, you can be real. You don't have to wear a false persona. One of the nicest things about friends is that there is no limit to the number that we can have. Friends aren't like calories. They need not be counted and restricted. The only impediment to forming friendships with the people we meet is ourselves. I know there are many people that say you should never talk to strangers. It's too dangerous. It's asking for trouble. We've all heard the arguments. However, I think that time, circumstances, and good old-fashioned common sense are the determinants about how we react to new faces that come within our sphere. For years, the telephone company told us in their advertising campaigns to reach out and touch someone. Good advice. Why not expand that suggestion and reach out and touch both an old friend and make a new one today? This is Bill Hostler with today's key to confident living.
And congratulations to Brooklyn Davis, a student at Spindale Elementary. Brooklyn is 9 today, and she's a lucky winner of the donuts this morning from Granny B's Daylight Donuts. We'll have a certificate right here for you. Brooklyn, stop by and pick those up, and I know you will enjoy those donuts. And everybody that goes by Granny B's enjoy a sub sandwich or salad or any kind of sandwich. It's always freshly done. They're always good. They do. They really pile it on. Granny B. They got a good sweet tea, too, by the way, before I forget it. All right, coming up next hour, we got guests. Part one of my guests is Regina Maup. She is a Democrat candidate for clerk of court. She'll be in here talking about her candidacy. Mr. Jay Coombs will be on a little before that, talking about high school football action tonight and the important game that we have on store for you this evening. He'll be talking about that, and the season's drawing to a close here pretty quickly. But we'll talk with Mr. Friday night, and then Regina Maup will be here. Then following that, Word of Faith continues with their side of the story at 8:30 right here. A lot of criticism about them, but they're giving their side of the story. We hope you'll listen in. Right now, though, we're going to take you back down memory lane with some music that we're playing now for our new format on 100.9 FM, 590 AM, having a lot of good, favorable comments about the music. Have a few folks don't like it because we don't do country anymore, but we're having a whole lot of folks saying they like in the music. So if you do, we'd like to hear from you. If you have a special request on the music, just send that to us. You can send it directly to me or to Louis the One. Send to me, Jim Bishop at NCTV. Say, hey, Jim, I'd like to hear you play so-and-so, and we'll get that in the playlist also. We're doing some 50s, 60s, and 70s music like this one.
I thought love was only true in fairy tales, and for someone else, but not for me. Our love was out to get me. That's the way it seemed. Disappointment haunted all my dreams. Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. I thought love was more or less a given thing. It seems the more I gave, the less I got. What's the use in trying? All you get is pain. When I needed sunshine, I got rain. Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. Yes, I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. Said I'm a believer, yeah. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Why do fools fall in love? Why do birds sing so gay? And love is my way to break the day. Why do they fall in love? Fall in love.
President Trump was in Montana last night rallying support for fellow Republicans, using his time to also accuse Democrats of supporting a caravan of Central American migrants moving into Mexico. The president is threatening to use the U.S. military to shut down the southern border to stop the migrants from entering the U.S. CBS News correspondent Chip Reed.
The president continues his Western campaign swing today. He'll hold a rally in nearby Mesa, Arizona tonight, and with Election Day just 2.5 weeks away, he's turning his focus to immigration, just as he did in the presidential campaign.
The start of early in-person voting in North Carolina brought out more people compared to the first day of the last midterm election in 2014. The State Board of Elections says close to 133,000 people cast ballots statewide on Wednesday's first day of early voting, compared to 121,000 4 years ago. Elon University's new president was officially installed yesterday at the Alamance County Institution of Higher Learning. Connie Book is the school's 9th chief executive.
We will hold tight to our student-centered mission to develop the mind, body, and spirit, understanding that this is Elon's foundational strength.
Turkey's government is disputing reports it has given an audio recording of the torture and death of Saudi dissident journalist Jamal Khashoggi to the U.S. CBS News correspondent Holly Williams.
Turkish media is reporting that investigators have expanded their search to a forest on the outskirts of Istanbul, as well as a farmhouse in a nearby city. However, we have not been able to independently confirm that search has actually taken place.
The Federal Emergency Management Agency is loaning recreational vehicles to some North Carolinians whose homes were left uninhabitable by Hurricane Florence. Manufactured homes are available for those whose repairs will take up to 18 months. They're primarily in eastern North Carolina. You're listening to NCN News.
Biking to work is great.
Thanks to these new bike lanes.
Now more than ever, people are enjoying the benefits of living in communities where they don't need a car for everything.
How about dinner after work?
Sure, I have to stop at home. Then I'll walk over.
These are sustaining places, neighborhoods that are compact and walkable, communities connected to each other by public transportation, and regions where air and water quality are shared concerns.
The kids I teach get fresh fruits and vegetables with school lunch. Some of it's even from local farms.
The American Planning Association wants you to know that sustaining places like these don't just happen. They take planning, urban, community, and regional planning, plus personal responsibility.
Making the choice.
To take the bus.
To recycle. Reuse.
To use less.
Less water. Less gas.
There's a lot each one of us can do.
And a website where you can learn more. Planning.org. That's planning.org. A message from the American Planning Association and this station.
The Ragsdale High School community is mourning the death of Assistant Principal Gene Ransom, who died in an auto accident this week. Ragsdale Principal Jim Gibson tells WFMY News.
She was probably the, whether you'd call it the backbone or the strongest thread in the fabric, but she's the one that I think that held everything together. Very compassionate, very willing to do whatever she could to help a student or a teacher.
If your teenager drives to school, a new study shows it is better to say no to picking up friends along the way.
I'm Gary Nunn. When teen drivers have another teen or more as passengers, the ride gets a lot more dangerous. AAA Foundation researchers find that when a teen driver has just one teen passenger, the fatality rate for all people involved in the crash surges by 51%. Replace that passenger with an adult, the fatality rate drops 8%. The study amplifies the need for teen drivers to get as much supervised training, coaching, and experience at the wheel as possible.
Police in North Carolina have accused a man of trying to kill a woman by repeatedly slamming a television on her head during a dispute. Greenville police say that 48-year-old Donnell Rogers is charged with attempted murder. A fashion magazine is taking flack for its voter registration drive.
It's one way to get young people to vote. Elle magazine sent a tweet that Kim Kardashian and Kanye West were breaking up. To find out more, followers were directed to a link that took them to the voter registration page for whenweallvote.org. The Kim and Kanye claim was fake. Hours later, Elle tweeted an apology for letting its passion for voter registration cloud judgment. A similar tweet a few days ago from the director of communications at Marquette University offered the reason for the Ariana Grande-Pete Davidson breakup, which was actually linked to vote.org. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
24/7, WCAB is serving the foothills of the Carolinas. Learn more about us at www.wcab59.com.
It's not shared any audio recordings with U.S. officials. At a campaign rally in Montana, President Trump praised a congressman who physically assaulted a reporter last year, saying anyone that can do a body slam is his type.
The act of violence against a journalist that the president was celebrating at last night's rally was something the Montana congressman himself apologized for last year, even pleading guilty to misdemeanor assault charges. And the newspaper whose journalist was attacked, The Guardian, is warning that in the aftermath of Jamal Khashoggi's possible murder, these comments could invite, quote, assaults on journalists across the world.
That's ABC's Ian Pennell. President Trump continues to threaten to close down the southern border or send in the military if thousands of Honduran migrants continue to make their way toward the U.S. And tempers flare at the White House as sources say there was a shouting match between Chief of Staff John Kelly and National Security Advisor John Bolton over it.
That fight between the president's two top aides was apparently so heated that it's renewed rumors of a possible White House departure. But sources tell us that neither Bolton nor Kelly have any plans to resign, at least not over this fight.
That's ABC's Mary Bruce. The Navy says the USS Ronald Reagan has resumed flight operations after a helicopter crashed on the flight deck during an emergency landing. They say none of the injuries considered life-threatening. The Justice Department investigating clergy sex abuse in the Catholic Church in Pennsylvania.
The federal grand jury issued subpoenas this week to Roman Catholic leaders across Pennsylvania, seeking a trove of sensitive documents and testimony about past abuse cases.
That's ABC's David Wright. You're listening to ABC News.
To experience relief from muscle cramps and soreness, use TheraWorks Relief. This fast-acting foam is proven to prevent and relieve foot and leg cramps. Get TheraWorks Relief today in the pain relief aisle at Walmart, CVS, Rite Aid, and Walgreens pharmacies or TheraWorksRelief.com.
It's time to join the millions of people using Zoom video conferencing. Turn any size conference room, huddle room, or executive office into a Zoom room with flawless HD video, crystal clear audio, and instant wireless sharing. It'll even work with your existing hardware. Start your meetings with a single touch or use Zoom's new voice command feature. Hey Zoom, start meeting. Huddle happy. Visit Zoom.us to set up your free Zoom room trial today. That's Zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing. Okay, so where do more Americans turn first in the morning to start their day? Go on, tell them, Robin.
Good morning, America.
George.
Good morning, America.
Lara.
Good morning, America.
So, take it from Robin.
What's so good in your morning?
With ABC's Good Morning America.
Rwanda becoming the latest country to announce a gender-balanced cabinet where women make up 50% of the posts. The East African nation has received international recognition for female representation in government, with women making up 61% of parliament members. Outgoing UN Ambassador Nikki Haley poked fun at her boss in the current political climate at a white tie gala in New York last night.
As a member of the Trump cabinet, it is a thrill to be out to dinner without being harassed.
Haley joked that she was invited to the Alfred E. Smith Memorial Foundation dinner because they wanted an Indian woman, but President Trump had said that Senator Elizabeth Warren failed her DNA test. Hundreds of fans swarmed the Cardi B in Brooklyn as the rapper handed out free winter coats on a cold Brooklyn night.
On the first real cold snap of the season, hundreds of kids and their parents spent this school night pressed against barricades, waiting hours for their idol. The rap sensation Cardi B lifted herself out of poverty, and she was heading here to South Brooklyn to give away coats at the cusp of winter. But for many, it wasn't about the coats. She spent hours here in the community center and on that cold line of metal barricades. A few more pictures and she was gone. A ray of light and hope for hundreds here.
That's ABC's Josh Einiger. Prince Harry has scaled the Sydney Harbour Bridge to raise a flag marking the arrival of the Invictus Games, the sporting event for injured vets. This is ABC News.
Results not typical. Do you owe the IRS more than $10,000 in personal or business taxes and you can't afford to pay? Get tax representation. The industry experts with negotiating with the IRS with an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. Call today and the IRS will be contacted the same day, putting a stop to bank levies and wage garnishments. Call the tax representation hotline at 800-556-7089. 800-556-7089. That's 800-556-7089.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Happy Friday. Starting out the day on a bright and sunny note, and sunshine staying in the forecast throughout the day as highs climb in the mid to upper 60s. Should be a comfortable and crisp fall day outside, but changes arrive tonight as cloud cover moves in and rain will gradually fill in during the overnight hours. Lows tonight falling in the mid to upper 50s. Your Saturday forecast still showing clouds and rain holding on early. Highs in the upper 60s, but clearing by the evening. I'm Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
Thank you very much, Kat Campbell. It's 43 degrees here in beautiful downtown Whiteside Road and a nice, beautiful, great getting up morning. Mostly sunny today around here, 67 for our expected high. Sunday night is when we're expecting that really frost to come in here. Looks like Sunday night's temperature is going to be around 61 for the overnight low, and areas of frost will wake up Monday morning probably with frost around the area, warming up though to 61 that day. But tonight is going to be a perfect night for high school football here in the foothills. On the phone with me right now is Mr. Friday Night himself, Jay Coombs, to talk about what the lineup looks like tonight. Good morning, Jay.
Well, good morning, Jim.
Loving this cool weather?
Do you know, with only 3 games to go in the regular season, it finally feels like football weather. Amazing.
Yes. I know the players will enjoy this cool weather probably better than most of us.
Yeah, and we've had such a problem this season with the heat, the humidity, and cramping. It actually, with the lower humidity and the cooler temperatures, we may not see as much cramping over the next few weeks. And, wow, that would be great because every time a player goes down with cramps, it takes a while to recover from that.
Oh, boy.
You know, what's amazing is now homecoming is behind us, and it's time to focus on the rest of the season. Only 3 games to go in the regular season. Got some great matchups tonight. First of all, RS Central. Hilltoppers had a really disappointing loss at home last week to Shelby, losing that game 55-7. They are on the road tonight. They travel to Belmont. They'll take on the South Point Red Raiders, who are the team that handed East Rutherford its first loss of the season in Forest City last week. South Point winning that one by 11, 35-24 to hand the Cavaliers their first loss. So in that Southwestern Athletic Conference race, right now we've got Shelby and South Point sitting up there on top at 2-0. Right behind them, East Rutherford at 1-1, Chase at 1-1, and then we have the Hilltoppers at 0-2 and East Gaston in the basement at 0-2. So Hilltoppers tonight at South Point. The big rivalry game takes place out at Allen Stadium tonight. This is always a good matchup when East Rutherford and Chase get together. East Rutherford, as I mentioned, their first loss last week. Cavaliers are 7-1 overall, 1-1 in the conference. Trojans of Chase are 1-1 in the conference. Had a big win last week over East Gaston, 33-7. Chase is 3-5 overall. I kid you not, when you get a game like this, records are nice, but you can pretty much toss that aside. It's going to be a battle tonight. East Rutherford at Chase, and that'll be a 7:30 kickoff, as are all of the games this week. And our feature game of the week, we have one undefeated team still in Rutherford County. That would be the Griffins of Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy. They are sitting at 8-0, 4-0, tied for first place in the Southern Piedmont Conference. Griffins had a great homecoming win last week over Highland Tech, 68-12. And tonight they will be playing host to the other team in the conference with a 4-0 record in conference play. That would be the Yellow Jackets of Bessemer City, who are 5-3 overall. Bessemer City has won 4 games in a row. They are trying to be the spoilers on the Griffins' record tonight, trying to collect their 5th win in a row. Thomas Jefferson, of course, last year, they went all the way through the regular season until the final week, undefeated 10-0, and then we traveled to Monroe and lost that game up there against Union Academy. But we'll see what happens tonight. TJ has won this game for the previous 3 years, so this would be the 4th year in a row for a Griffins win over Bessemer City. I think more importantly than that, the winner of this game tonight, sole possession of first place in the Southern Piedmont Conference. And then you take a look at the weeks remaining and the games still to come. I think it's a good possibility that the winner of this game tonight could claim a conference championship as a result of a win tonight, or at least likely to clinch at least a share of the conference title. Griffins have a couple of tough games still to play. They travel to Mountain Island Charter next week. They finish up at home with Union Academy. These next 2 weeks, tonight and next week, toughest game of the year for the Griffins, I think. We'll hope for the best tonight in Avondale. Cliff Palmieri and I have the play-by-play call here on the radio tonight. 6:45 countdown to kickoff. Kickoff will be at 7:30. So looking forward tonight to seeing if the Griffins can improve to 9-0.
Sounds exciting. We'll be listening in for that game tonight, Jay Coombs. Thank you so very much. The season soon to be wrapped up, and you can do something else on Friday night.
Well, I'd like to see it continue into mid-December, Jim, because that means somebody would make it all the way to a state championship game. That's what I've always been shooting for, hoping for. 23 years, it hasn't happened yet, but maybe this year. I tell you what, Nomi McMullins, quarterback of Thomas Jefferson, such a great young man, so much fun to watch, and I'd like to see him as a senior take this team deep into the playoffs.
That's exciting. I hope that works out. And we'll see you soon. Listen to you tonight. Thanks, Jay.
Thanks, Jim.
All right, bye. Mr. Friday Night, Jay Coombs on the radio, but the big game this evening is 12 minutes after 8 o'clock. Right here, we're scheduled to have Regina Mapp in the studio with me this morning to take questions about her candidacy for clerk of court. She's not here yet. She's not arrived yet. Maybe she will come in just a few moments while we do this.
Fellow Americans, the time has come for the entire nation to come together as one America and make history by sending more support to Washington for President Trump. The entire media community is predicting that the angry Democrats will vote and those that are complacent will stay home. We must vote to prevent the left from stopping his record-setting success in the economy. Remember, in just 20 months under the leadership of President Trump with no support from Democrats, the federal taxes were cut, coal mines, steel plants, and factories are back producing, and jobs are plentiful. President Trump is fearless when it comes to the betterment of the people, but he needs our support by electing more Republicans. Vote this midterm November the 6th. Prevent the likes of Dianne Feinstein, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and Maxine Waters from stonewalling President Trump. God bless America and God bless President Trump. Vote Republican November the 6th and be part of history. This announcement paid for by Steve and Margaret Mode.
It looks like we may get some rain tomorrow, so today is going to be a beautiful day to go to Graham Cash and take advantage of this big sale, gigantic clearance sale. It's the biggest sale ever. And throughout the store, you can save on things like men's jeans, $20, ladies' tops, $5, children's jeans, $10, ladies' sandals, $10, and a select group of men's suits, only $50, regular to $275, sport coats, $30. Now, last week when it started, it rained all day that first day. So they can expand this over so you can go today. Looks like it may rain tomorrow, so go today at downtown Forest City and shop big time at Graham Cash Big Weekend Sale.
Ralph Heiss is being investigated for putting $10,000 of campaign cash into his own pocket. Do you want to waste your vote on someone that may go to jail? The alternative is David Wheeler. David is a family man, has been a small businessman, and believes the Word of Faith Fellowship is corrupting Rutherford County. David Wheeler is for the Second Amendment, against abortion, and believes Jesus is his Savior. Please vote for David Wheeler for North Carolina Senate. Paid for by Wheeler for NC.
Hi, this is Haley from the gift shop at Smith's Drugs in downtown Forest City. We have a huge inventory of fall items that include dresses, cardigans, leggings, and shoes. Plus, we have several new books from local authors that would make great gifts for anyone. Our summer items are marked 30% off the lowest ticketed item, so come in the gift shop at Smith's Drugs in Forest City and see what we have for you.
Do you need some extra money in your pocket? Try Insurance Service Associates, your local independent agent. We can shop your auto and home insurance with several companies to get you better coverage and the best rate. Insurance Service Associates at 127 East Trade Street in Forest City for auto, home, or commercial insurance. More choices, better coverage, best rate. That's Insurance Service Associates, 245-5301.
We were scheduled to have this morning on the radio for an interview with Regina Mapp. She had confirmed that she would indeed be here today for her questions about her candidacy to become a clerk of court. Have not heard anything. As I saw her last night, she indicated I thought that she would be here today. I hope nothing's happened. I hope everything's okay, but I have not heard from her. And the time is fastly running out for this third segment here for that. We'll see what's going to happen. Anyway, meanwhile, Monday, Monday, which is the 22nd, Steve Owens, the incumbent, it's his scheduled time to be here. 24th will be Brent Washburn running for school board. On the 25th is Brandy Nanny running for school board. On the 29th, Theodore Kelly running for school board. And on the 31st, Brandon Gosey running for school board. On November the 1st, Jason Weiss, Democrat candidate for sheriff, scheduled to be here. Then on the 2nd, Freddie Uten, unaffiliated candidate for sheriff, and then on the 5th it'll be Chris Francis, and that'll wrap the interview segments up, giving you a chance to learn more about them. These are free opportunities for the candidates. We don't charge for these interviews at all. We give them an opportunity to step forward and speak to the vast number of people who tune in the mornings, thousands, both AM and FM, and plus on our website as well. And so it doesn't cost them anything to be here to get this exposure. So we're just a little public service we try to do to help you get better acquainted with them. Rutherford Regional Health System now features its walk-in services at Forest City Family Care at 212 Allendale Drive, Forest City, just behind the Tri-City Mall. Those needing walk-in care enjoy the same great services, but now at the new location. They continue to operate Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. The scope of services remain unchanged for the walk-in patients. When you don't have an appointment but need to be seen quickly, we hope you'll choose the walk-in services now located at the rear entrance of Forest City Family Care. Let me tell you about that big auction tomorrow. If you're looking for a big firearms auction, come to Buck Stop Gun and Pawn Saturday. That's 1464 Boiling Springs, Highway 9, tomorrow morning, starting at 9 o'clock. There'll be over 200 new and used pistols, rifles, and shotguns for auction. Now, you can preview them today from 9 a.m. until 1, and then again from 2 until 6. Firearms may only be purchased by legal U.S. citizens and must be a resident of North or South Carolina. This is another Norville auction, so you know it's going to be run professionally. That's tomorrow, remember, 9 a.m. at Buck Stop Gun and Pawn. That would be up at 1464 Boiling Springs, Highway 9. The gun auction that you'll never forget. That is tomorrow.
Mountain values stand strong, just like Ralph Heiss. Ralph is A-rated and endorsed by the NRA, and conservative Ralph Heiss wants to protect the integrity of our elections and supports voter ID. Liberal David Wheeler's values? Well, David Wheeler stands with Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, and Wheeler donated to both their campaigns. This election, know where you stand. Re-elect conservative Ralph Heiss. Paid for by Ralph Heiss for NC Senate.
Almost 20 minutes after 8 o'clock, right here on this Friday morning edition of the Morning Wake Up Call. Thank you for joining us. Congratulations to Brooklyn Davis, a 9-year-old student at Spindale Elementary. She won the donuts this morning from Granny B's. Now, Deputy Keller gave us a report from the Sheriff's Department this morning, and we recorded it for broadcast at this time.
All right, so in the last 24 hours, we had 148 calls for service, 16 arrested, and currently have 192 in the jail. For incident reports, we had the drop-in number 6 reported uttering forged instruments. And for arrest reports, we have Christopher Huckabee, arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. Marcus Tweedy, injury to personal property, assault on female. Bobby Gregory, felony probation violation. Carla Huffman, resistant public officer. Roger Webster, assault on female and injury to personal property. Crystal Ford, resist a public officer, failed to appear on a misdemeanor. Kelly Harley Wilson, reckless driving, felony flee to elude arrest, and possession of a stolen vehicle. Harley Braun, possession of Schedule II controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia. Timothy Holler, assault and battery. Dante Forney, failure to comply. Bobby Thompson, obtaining property by false pretense and possession of stolen goods. Jeremy Harbury, obtaining property by false pretense and attempting obtaining property by false pretense. That's all we have for today.
Many of you have been looking, by the way, that was Deputy Keller. Many of you have been looking for a gun auction like this one that's coming up tomorrow, looking for a big firearms auction. Well, that's Buck Stop Gun and Pawn tomorrow, 1464 Boiling Springs Highway number 9. Tomorrow morning starting at 9 o'clock. There'll be over 200 new and used rifles and shotguns for auction. Now, you can view them today if you like, from 9 until 1 and then 2 until 6. Then the auction starts tomorrow at 9. This is another Norville auction, so you know it's going to be run professionally. Remember that firearms may only be purchased by legal U.S. citizens and must be a resident of North or South Carolina. Remember, Saturday, October the 20th, that's tomorrow, 9 a.m. at Buck Stop Gun and Pawn, and that'll be at 1464 Boiling Springs Highway number 9. Gun auction you'll never forget. If you've been looking for something like this, this is your opportunity. So try to make your plans to be there.
This is County Commissioner Alan Toney, District 5, serving all of Rutherford County. I'm a small business owner, married to Kathy, and we have 2 sons. We are members of Golden Valley Missionary Methodist Church. It has been a pleasure to work for you these past 4 years, and we feel good about some of the accomplishments. Let me share some of the things the commissioners have been working on to make Rutherford County stronger economically and safer. In the past 4 years, we have had a commitment to create almost 1,000 jobs with more diverse opportunities. We have greatly enhanced our public safety communications and no property tax increase. It is important to have a commissioner that has a vision for the county and keeps the emphasis on what's best for the citizens, and a good steward of your money, and a commissioner that believes in transparency in local government. Let me continue working for you and your family. I am asking for your vote, and let's keep Rutherford County moving forward. This is Alan Toney. This announcement paid for by the committee to elect Alan Toney.
You know, there's some things that we eat, we don't understand what it is sometimes, but I have a story here that you could soon be eating cotton. Yeah, it'll take like hummus, they say. It's not all that unpleasant. Americans may soon be eating cotton for the first time, not just wearing it, as a new edible variety is poised to enter the marketplace. On Tuesday, the U.S. Department of Agriculture gave the green light to commercialize a biotech version of the cotton plant, whose seeds can be eaten, according to Texas A&M University, which developed it over more than 2 decades. U.S. Food and Drug Administration approval still needed, and which the university said it expects within months. After that, farmers will be able to grow cotton for food as well as for fiber. Texas A&M professor Kirti Rathore started working on the project 23 years ago and figured out how to silence a gene in the plant that produced a toxin called gossypol. While gossypol protects the plant from insects, it made the seeds inedible to humans and most animals. But they say it tastes like hummus. It's not all that unpleasant. It'll be several years before farmers can grow it commercially, as seed supplies have to be ramped up starting next season. There's a lot of protein in cotton seeds, enough to meet the daily requirements of 600 million people should all cotton in the world be replaced with edible varieties. So there you go, folks. Used to pick a lot of cotton as a kid growing up and never thought about eating it, but I guess that was not the thing you ate. You ate the cotton seed, right? When I was just a little bitty baby, my mama used to rock me in the cradle. Anyway, that's it for this segment. Sorry, my interview did not come in this morning. I don't know what happened to Regina Mapp, scheduled to be here for the interview on clerk of court race. But we're going to move on. We can't hold on. We got to move on. Coming up, sports update. And Word of Faith telling their side of the story, 8:30, right here live in the studio.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. Boston punched its ticket to the Fall Classic last night with a 4-1 victory at Houston in Game 5 of the ALCS. J.D. Martinez went yard with a solo shot, and Rafi Devers also knocked out a 3-run homer off Justin Verlander as the Red Sox won their 4th straight game over Houston after dropping the first game of the series. ALCS MVP Jackie Bradley Jr. says winning comes down to a combination of planning and luck.
I think kind of all boils down to having a game plan and obviously executing. You can have a game plan, but sometimes it might not work out.
That sentiment echoed by Astros manager A.J. Hinch, who congratulated the Red Sox on a good series.
They outplayed us. They did a really good job of having an excellent game plan and executing it, and they were extremely tough.
The Red Sox will face either L.A. or Milwaukee when they take the field in the World Series for the first time in 5 years. Week 7 of the NFL schedule kicked off last night. It featured the Broncos D stampeding Cardinals quarterback Josh Rosen. Todd Davis and Chris Harris each had a pick 6 off the rookie in the first quarter in a 45-10 rout of Arizona. Rosen threw a 3rd interception. He also lost 2 fumbles before limping off the field late in the game after taking his 5th sack of the night. Broncos receiver Emmanuel Sanders, meanwhile, he threw a touchdown and also grabbed one. The LA Lakers opened the LeBron James era with a loss, 128-119 at Portland. James paced the Lakers with 26 points, 12 rebounds. He also had 6 assists, but was 0 for 4 beyond the arc. He contributed to the Lakers combining to miss 23 of 30 three-point attempts.
We can rebound a lot better. We had some turnovers, which I expected. Us just trying to get a feel for one another. For our first regular season game together. So we do a better job of that.
Elsewhere, Philadelphia and Miami picked up victories last night. The 76ers thumped the Bulls, and the Heat eked out a win over the Wizards. On the ice, Pittsburgh ended Toronto's 5-game win streak. The Pens blanked the Maple Leafs 3-0. This is NCN Sports.
Sometimes the simplest things can make the biggest difference. An extra pair of hands, a smile, or a shoulder. At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, we feel the same about home and auto coverage, affordable rates, trusted service, and local agents. After all, making one simple difference in your life helps you make a big difference in another's. Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Nothing could be finer than being at the North Carolina State Fair. So come to the fair and stop by the North Carolina Peanut Growers booth in the Carr Scott Building. Get a free sample of North Carolina peanuts and discover how eating peanuts can help prevent birth defects, reduce the risk of heart disease, and even help you lose weight. Come to the North Carolina State Fair now through the 21st in Raleigh. This message brought to you by North Carolina's peanut farmers, who are busy harvesting this year's crop of delicious, heart-healthy, cholesterol-free peanuts.
The All England Club says it will introduce 5th set tiebreakers at Wimbledon next year when a match reaches 12-12. They're not calling it the Isner rule, but they might as well. We all know why they're doing this.
It's a huge honor. I didn't expect it.
In 2010, John Isner and Nicholas Mahut played the longest match in tennis history at Wimbledon. It took more than 11 hours and 3 days to complete, in which Isner won 70-68 in the final set. In July, the Greensboro native made it to the Wimbledon semifinal before he lost to Kevin Anderson in a more than 6.5-hour match that featured a 50-game 5th set. The Grass Court Grand Slam is the second of the 4 majors to use a 5th set tiebreaker to determine a singles match. The U.S. Open starts a 5th set tiebreaker when it's at 6-all. Players in singles matches of the Australian and French Opens will still have to win the final set by 2 games. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Happy Friday. Starting out the day on a bright and sunny note and sunshine staying in the forecast throughout the day as highs climb in the mid to upper 60s. Should be a comfortable and crisp fall day outside, but changes arrive tonight as cloud cover moves in and rain will gradually fill in during the overnight hours. Lows tonight falling in the mid to upper 50s. Your Saturday forecast still showing clouds and rain holding on early. Highs in the upper 60s, but clearing by the evening. I'm Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
43 degrees, cloudy skies here in Rutherfordton. Beautiful downtown Whiteside Road. It's going to be warming up nicely. The sun's going to be shining after a bit. Perfect day to play golf with the Chamber of Commerce this day. So have a great day, folks. Enjoy your weekend. And we'll get back together bright and early Monday morning. We'll continue with our political interviews. I don't know what happened to my guest today. Didn't get here, but we will continue on Monday morning introducing you to the candidates seeking office. It's 8:30. This is WCAB Rutherfordton. Welcome to the Word of Faith Responds. This series of programs will address the issues concerning the negative news reports. This program is paid for by Word of Faith, and the views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the management and staff of WCAB. Now here is Word of Faith Responds.
Good morning, and thank you again for joining us. This is Mark Morris with the Word of Faith Fellowship, and we're so glad that you are listening today. We have enjoyed sharing with you so many things that God has done in our lives at the Word of Faith Fellowship, and so today I have two very special guests here with me. I have Raquel and Davi. They're both from Brazil. They're from an area in Brazil that is in the Belo Horizonte region, and so both of them grew up in a church in Brazil that is very close to our church here with the Word of Faith Fellowship, and I've shared about it before, even as recent as the last program that I was on about a week ago. We shared about that there is a couple churches in Brazil that our pastors were very close friends with the pastors in Brazil, going all the way back to many, many years ago when our pastor Sam taught at Bible school. And so there is a long relationship there. And so over the years, our church has done many conferences with these two churches in Brazil, and we have enjoyed a very good, close relationship with them. And then they have also, their church members have come here and visited and come to church conferences. So we've actually become very close over the years. And over time, some of the young people in these churches in Brazil have come here to go to college and actually studied, and we've opened our homes. Some of our church members opened our homes to them so they can stay here while they studied, and so it's been a great relationship. And so I just want to bring you back to, some of you may recall if you've been listening on this program, we have been covering an AP article that came out over a year ago that was about our church, and it was accusations. It was the article was entitled "They Kept Us as Slaves," and so the accusation was from some young people from Brazil who had come here and visited and then left the church. They said that when they came here, they were treated like slaves. They were made to work and forced to work, and their passports were kept from them. They couldn't leave Brazil. And on the last program that I was on this radio program about a week ago, we covered that in depth, and actually the matter was in one of the churches in Brazil, in the Franco da Rocha area near São Paulo. The labor board, the labor ministry actually got involved and brought a lawsuit against that church, claiming that they were sending slaves here. So you see this thing mushroom. First you have this AP article with a few young Brazilians that are saying all these things of how they were treated here, and then this thing mushrooms into this, this investigation, and then the labor ministry brings this lawsuit against the church in Brazil, one of them, and accuses them of funneling slaves right here to Spindale, that we somehow have all these slaves coming from Brazil. So what I did on the last program, and I hope if you'll have time, if you did not hear that, you'll go back, because I spent a lot of time reading that there was actually a full hearing on the matter in Brazil. A judge heard the matter. He heard these allegations that they were forcing people to work in that church, and they were sending people over here to work. And so what you have is a ruling by a judge in Brazil that heard both sides of the story and spent a lot of time, and the ruling was very, very long. It was many, many pages, and he analyzed all the testimony. It was both written testimony, it was oral testimony, and so forth. And at the end of all this, the judge makes a final ruling, and he finds that all of these the testimony that these people said they came here and they were forced to work, he finds out that actually what really happened was they had a great life here. He even says that their life was so far above, they were treated so far above how people were treated in Brazil with economic problems in Brazil, and that these people, and he even labeled some of these young people that were testifying as egocentric. And he goes on and he says, for those reasons, in addition to other contradictions and inconsistencies, I will not accept the allegations of the witnesses of the public ministry of labor. And then it goes on and says, for these reasons, I dismiss as unfounded the pleadings in question. So after a full and final hearing, you hear these allegations that the Word of Faith Fellowship is slaveholders. A judge in Brazil hears all of the witnesses and says, I find that this is totally unfounded. Not only that, but these young people that came to the United States were treated so well, far above how people are treated in Brazil. So there's the ruling. Now here's what's interesting. When you go back and you look at this AP article, it's called They Kept Us as Slaves. You read this reporter, the AP reporter Mitch Weiss, and what he says is, after investigating, the AP found that people were funneled from Brazil to Word of Faith Fellowship for forced labor. Okay, this is what the AP found. Well, here's the situation. After you have a full, fair hearing by a judge, the judge found that those were unfounded. Now, how about that? That's what you don't get to hear about. You get to hear the truth when you hear all the evidence and you put everything together. So we're appreciative of that ruling. Now, we're going to keep going with this. This is my third radio program I'm doing on this. Why am I here today with radio program 3 about this? Why? Because this is so serious to make an allegation that our church is forcing people to work, that we're having slaves. It is so contrary. And I've shared this before. I came here when I was 19 years old from Los Angeles. I'm a practicing attorney in the state of North Carolina, licensed. I'm not going to be a part of a church that is violating these laws, that is forcing people to work. Second of all, I'm a Christian. And in our church at the Word of Faith Fellowship, and I've shared this before, there's one thing about our church that is very true, and everybody that's been there knows this, that our church has so much love. When you walk in, you feel God's love. That's what you feel, because our church is really a church that has a heart that wants to serve God. And when you want to serve God, you feel His love. And so having people in there and treating them poorly as slaves and making people do things is so opposite of love. And Jesus loved us, and He said, this is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. And that's a very strong word, because we know that Jesus Christ gave His life for us. So He's saying He wants us to give our lives for others. So this is the church I belong to. This is the Word of Faith Fellowship. And so when you come to our church, you don't see slaves. What you see is people that love other people. And so that's why I'm here today with Hakel and Davi. So Hakel actually came here many years as a young child to visit with her family, and had a great relationship. She developed a lot of friends here, and ended up, when she got out of high school in Brazil, she wanted to study here, so she got a visa for student visa, and she came here to study. And after she had been studying here, lo and behold, she meets some young man in our church named Bryson Smith, who they became very close, and then she ended up marrying him. So she is here with Bryson Smith, and her brother is here with her, Davi. And Davi actually lives in Brazil. He's 21, and he just comes here to visit. He visits his sister here, and he has also come here many times and loves coming here and has lots of friends here. So, but his dad actually owns a business in Brazil, and so he actually works with his dad in Brazil, but likes to come here and see his friends and, of course, his sister. So we're going to hear from them. And I'm going to start off with Hakel. So Hakel, you grew up in Brazil, and I know you're aware of the AP article that came out. They treat us as slaves. And I want to ask you specifically, there was on the AP article two young ladies there. One was Anna and one was Rebecca. And they were on there, and they're part of this article sharing that both of them came here to visit. I think Anna came here 11 times, the AP article says. And so in this article they're part of, there's these allegations that these people were forced to work when they were here. They were treated terrible like slaves, and even just yelled at and in very bad conditions. So did you know either of these two young ladies in the article?
Yes.
Would you tell us about what you know about this?
Sure. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Good morning. Yes, I knew both girls, and actually, I was born, just a few months before Anna Carolina, and we were in the same class together since kindergarten, and we grew up all the way to through 12th grade, and we graduated. She is totally a different person today. It's not who she was when I was in school with her. And actually, when we were 12 years old, we came here together with her grandmother, and we stayed at her aunt and uncle's house. And she had little cousins, and she was never mistreated. She was never put to work. That is a total lie. And she would go on vacation trips with them. She would play with her little cousins. We've always had the best time together. So what she's saying, it's a total lie. It's not truth at all. And Rebecca Mello, actually, I lived with her here at one of the homes here for several months. I'm not sure if it was even a year or two. It may have been. But I never saw her being mistreated either. She was never a slave. None of us, we were never slaves. I don't even know why say that, because if you're a slave, why come back and forth so many times? I mean, and if you're a slave, they won't let you go. So that's a total lie. And so Rebecca was given everything. Her and her parents couldn't afford for her to go to college here, and everyone here gave her everything. I remember bags of clothes coming in the house for her, and one day she really wanted a Coach purse, and she didn't have money to get it, and the house she was at, the couple that owned the house, they gave her a brand new Coach purse, and so everything she needed, she was given. And it really bothers me to hear all these people lying, against this church that has only loved people. And, everyone here, every house I've been in, they opened their homes for us, and they've done everything they can and treated us as family. And so it's not truth at all. And first time I've ever came, I was 5 years old, and all I felt was the love of God. And since I was little, I always wanted to come back, and I came back and forth several times. And then, like Mark said, after I graduated high school, I went to college here to isothermal for 3 years and graduated with honors. We studied as much as we needed to. There was no slavery, no forced to work. That is not true. And how can you graduate with honors if you're a slave? There's no way. And succeed. There's no way. And so after that, I just wanted to be here, and I knew that was God's will for me. And so God sent my way Bryson Smith, where I met here, and we ended up getting married, and he's the best husband I could ever ask for. God has blessed me so much, and he happened to be Jane Whaley's first cousin. And the first time I've ever met Jane, she's the most loving person I've ever met. All she did was love me and help me however she could, and I'm so grateful for her. And today is such an honor and privilege to be able to marry into the family. And I just have the happiest life and the happiest family. I love my family. I love my husband. I love my wife, and it's just been wonderful.
And thank you for sharing that. And God has blessed you. I know Bryson very well, and he's a blessing, and his family's a blessing too. And here, it's amazing. I know Bryson grew up in Golden Valley, and here you are from Belo Horizonte Beacus area in Brazil. So quite a couple here. We have one from Golden Valley and one from Belo Horizonte area. So, but it's amazing how God joins us together. So Devi's here. He is Hakel's brother, and he is here visiting. And so, Davi, you grew up in the Christian school down in Brazil. And so just tell us a little bit about your background growing up in school.
Sure, thank you, Mark. And I grew up in the Christian school in Brazil since I was little, and it's definitely a very, very good school. There is no bullying, no violence. The children love each other. They love their teachers. The teachers love the students. They do everything they can to help them. And, there is no way a child that's been abused, beat up, and you can go down the list of everything they say about them, to graduate from high school, go out into other countries, graduate in college with honors, and achieve all these things, become professionals, have their own business. How can you be so abused and become somebody like that? It's just impossible. And I was very privileged to study in this school. I get to visit a lot of public schools in Brazil, and I just see the shape this world is in. It's very bad, and I'm just very grateful that I was able to go to a school where people actually love me, and you can learn things, because today, there's no respect for teachers. Children does not love each other. They just make fun of each other. And, besides all that, too, we always had a great time at school. We always got to play a lot, sports and everything. It was definitely very good, Mark.
And tell me about, I know you've come here a lot. You come here to visit. You've been coming since you were younger. How many years have you been coming to visit now here in North Carolina?
I've been coming here for 9 years.
And tell me about, you've heard too, Davi, the allegations of people come here from Brazil. I know you know about this article too, because you were shocked like your sister was. And I know you know some of these people that were on that article. But so you've been here many times, and you're a young man. Tell us how your experience has been coming to visit here at the Word of Faith Fellowship.
Well, I definitely have loved every bit of it. Since my first time I came here with my mom in 2011, I came to visit my sister. She was in college, and I remember my sister brought us to church one day, and we're actually in a prayer meeting. It was wonderful. Everybody was just smiling, so happy. Everybody came to hug us and talk to us, and I was pretty shocked because I didn't know most of the people there, and I was like, how come they all act like they already know me for years, So it was very good. And they say too, Mark, about taking our passports and all these things, that's the biggest lie. I even got my passport here with me, I got 2 of them. You can't see here, I've come here many times, and nobody's ever locked me up here or done anything to me. I can go back and forth as many times as I want to, do whatever I want. I'm free to go anywhere. And I've traveled by myself actually many times. And, there is not a way for people to, direct. You're supposed to go to Brazil or come to the States and work forced here and be working in Brazil and all these things. That's just the biggest lie. It just doesn't work that way. And I'm able to come here. I just love everybody, and since my first time, I liked it so much that I just wanted to keep coming back. And every time in my spare time, I work with my dad in Brazil, but when I can, I come here on my vacation times. And, I would never spend my money to go to a place that I'm going to be locked up working every day, of course not. So let's think big here, everyone, because this is not the truth. But anyway, I do love this place. I got to be a lot with Jane's family, actually. We've become very close friends, and I love every one of them. And, all they've done is just the best for all of us. I go to their house. All they've told me is, you're home. You have everything here. If you need food, if you need this, it's all here. You can eat as much as you want. They just make me feel home, and that's, you can't find love like that in another country, going to another country, into people that you didn't really know, and they all accept you with wide open arms, and it's very good, and actually her daughter Robin too, she has taken really good care of us, and she has a son Brock, and we are very close friends too, and she takes us out to eat and go get ice cream, donuts, and takes us out shopping, to go to ball games, and I do get to play a lot here, just so you know. Brock and I play basketball, we go swimming, play pool, by the way. There's some things I've heard about people saying we're not allowed to do. We play pool, we play ping pong, Monopoly, and all these games. We always have fun every day. It's very good. I love being here.
And you have heard too, I'm sure, David, that you probably heard, we've shared on this program about John Huddle wrote a book about our church. He's an ex-member, and one of the things that he had was that our church has all of these rules, and he gives a big list, and some of those things you've even just covered, that we don't play Monopoly. It was all kinds of stuff on there, and we spent a lot of time covering that on this radio program. But you're here, you're a young man here on this program. You've grown up in the church in Brazil, but you've also come here a lot. And so are you familiar with when you come here to our church, just having all these rules like John Huddle describes, that you've got to follow all of these rules?
Well, I just actually had to take a look into these rules, yesterday, because I've never heard of any of that. It's actually like 140 something rules. It's pretty amazing how he can tell y'all about all these rules that I've never seen. I've been coming here for about 10 years, and I was never told you're supposed to follow this rule or follow that other rule. Actually, since I came here, everything that's been preached here in this church is we should love one another. Jane always talks about 1 Corinthians 13. It's the chapter in the Bible that talks about love, and that's the main thing we have in our church. And I see in everybody that everybody loves each other. And, all these things, they try to blame her and say all these things about her, but it's all just this fake news, the biggest, fattest lie you can ever hear about everything they try to make up. Because as I've told you, all they've done is take good care of us. By the way, one of the rules here is about black tennis shoes. I just got a pair of beautiful Under Armour black tennis shoes, and they said you can't wear double crease on your pants. I got double crease on my pants here.
These are all these rules in John Huddle's book. No black tennis shoes, and you're saying you actually have a pair of black tennis shoes. So.
I do. I wear it all the time, and I enjoy it. It's just crazy, crazy.
Well, and if you would just, we just have a few minutes left, and if either one of you just want to share out of your heart. I know both of you for many years, and I've seen your lives just really be touched by God. Both of you are real blessings to be around, and so if you just got a minute or two, if you want to share with the listeners, just what Jesus is to you and what He's done in your hearts. David, you want to share?
Well, as Mark is saying here, I grew up in a Christian home, and that kinds of leads you in, to be able to go to church every day and learn about Jesus, but it comes to a point that has to be you with God, what's your own decision you're going to make. And, that's where I have always that verse before me in Matthew 13, verse 45 and 46, that talks about that man that found that great pearl, and he went and sold everything and just to buy that precious pearl, and that pearl is Jesus. And that's what I have in my heart, I'm ready to give up of anything to serve Jesus, because He must be the most important thing in our lives. And when we have Him living in us, we have everything, and He blesses with everything. He gives us everything we need, and everything in our lives works great, because He is the one directing our lives in everything we do. And, that's where I see even coming here, how much love I feel from everybody, you know. It's just amazing because that's where I learn from that, and I just want to show that to people too. I just want to love people, and you know, that's a great thing to me because I was even going to share about Frank, you know. He works every day, but he takes his time on Saturdays to take Brock and I to play ball, you know, and then take us
Sam
to
and
eat.
Jane's son-in-law, and the part of the family that you're really a part of.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing. I'm just amazed at all this love, you know. It's really a really important thing in our lives, you know.
And so thank you so much. Did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, since the first time I came here, like I said before, all I felt was love. And, you know, every time I looked at the people here, they were so loving, so kind. And that's what I wanted. I saw something different in them. And that's what I wanted for me personally. And all that's ever taught here is for us to have that personal relationship with Jesus, like my brother was saying, and hear his voice and obeying every day. And it's so simple. And so that's what I, you know, every day that's what I do, you know, is cry out to Jesus for him to help me in anything I do or say and anywhere I go, and I want to be in his will. And just one more thing, Mark, that amazes me is all these people that, you know, have left. You know, the verse that always comes back to me is in Romans 1 that says, you know, that because they rejected the truth, you know, God sent upon them a misleading influence that, you know, and they start believing a lie, and it's a total lie. And, you know, I never want to be that way. And, you know, all these people ever do is love.
And thank you so much. And that's very true. And you've seen it, Hakel, with your own eyes, and it's very sad.
Yes.
So, and as Davy shared, Jesus Christ is that pearl of great price. I love that. I love that parable, and how when you find Jesus Christ, you have found everything that you need. And that was so good, Davy, for you to share that. So we thank you, listeners, again for listening. This is Word of Faith Responds, and we are here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8:30 to 9. We're sharing with you the truth about our church, and then we're also sharing with you just how good God is. So we hope that you will continue listening to us. We do have a website. If you want to go to that, you can go to our prior radio programs. They're all on our website, and that is wordoffaithfellowship.org. We actually video these so you can actually watch them. And thank you again for listening.